The Diamondback is overpowered. Yeah, the reason I didn't talk about this weapon properly in Spy Psychology is because that's a tutorial series. For this thing, there really is no tutorial to be had, you just do spy things and get free crits. The upside of this thing is that it gives you a stored crit for every backstab or building sapped. Now, crits do 3 times base damage with no fall off, so in the Diamondback's case, that's 102 damage. That is incredibly powerful, and the downsides to balance it out are 15% damage penalty, and no random crits. Yeah. The L'étranger has a 20% damage penalty and is still a lethal weapon. I get that no random crits are there because the weapon can store crits, but on its own it's barely a downside. The moment you get any amount of crits, this thing just invalidates all its downsides, and all you did was just play Spy the way you normally would. This weapon is compared a lot to the Frontier Justice, a shotgun for Engineer which can also store crits from sentry kills. However, it has 3 major differences that, in my opinion, keep it in check. 1. To even get the crits, your sentry has to be destroyed first, which can leave you in a vulnerable position and susceptible to being rushed down. If it goes down while you're dead, you won't even get them in the first place. The Diamondback just gets them immediately as soon as kills or destruction are obtained. 2. The weapon is the worst of the shotguns when without crits. Shut up. Except you don't count. It has the same no random crits downside, but it also has its clip size cut in half. This means more breaks to reload and lower amounts of burst damage. The Diamondback has a measly 15% damage penalty. 3. It still has downsides once it gets crits. The clip size still means that you have less shots before reloading, meaning you need to make those crit shots count, and again, you need to lose your sentry before getting them. This is probably also helped by the fact that NG has the same amount of health as a spy, but without cloak, so just noping out isn't as easy. The fact that the Ambi got nerfed the way it did for allowing the spy to cosplay as sniper, but the Diamondback remained untouched, kinda baffles me. You just play Spy properly and get crits as you do just for doing so.
Only brave statements on this channel.
One thing that is kinda interesting to me about this though, is that despite actually being overpowered, everyone actually hates the DR and Kunai more. Like, these 2 weapons aren't even overpowered. I don't even dislike the Kunai, my video on it was just why everyone else does. But I think it's more about how annoying they are to fight, especially in a pub setting, and especially when combined. I think it just goes to point out how balancing a game isn't just about making things objectively and equally viable, but also to consider the experience of using and fighting against those things. The whole point of balance is to keep it as fair and fun to all sides as possible. Like the point of a video game is to have fun, that's what games are made to be. The only reason you probably don't see the Diamondback more often is because of the L'étranger. The utility of it is so powerful that many people just use it anyway, and the Spy already has insta-kills with the backstab. I mean, the hated DR Kunai combo is often paired with it just because the whole point of that loadout is to get trick stabs, though this causes them to often forget that Spy has a gun. So it's not like this is a super pressing issue, but still a baffling one nonetheless. How would I change it? Well, basically take a page out of the Frontier Justice's book, cut that clip size in half, and while the Spy doesn't have something like a sentry they can sacrifice, we can reduce the base firing speed by about 10 to 20%. Now it's the worst revolver in the game without crits, and even when it has crits, some downsides are still present. That's pretty simply my take on it. Feel free to disagree, or not, because my word ain't gospel. Oh yeah, for those of you who still think the Red Tape or Homewrecker are going to have their own Spy Psychology episodes, 1, I literally deconfirmed that in the Engineer episode. 2, there's only 1 episode left. If I ended the series with that, it'd go out with a wet fart.
Anyway, this video ended up being like so much shorter than I expected it to be, but yeah, I'm done talking about this weapon now, bye.
Oh my god, don't tell me the video's length is gonna be this stupid funny number.